It's chapter 12, and the premise for the Norfolk trip is simple, but the implications are earth-shattering. Let's figure out why. Welcome to Chapter by Chapter. Early in the chapter, Kathy tells us that the trip to Norfolk is to find Ruth's possible. And with this page, with this information, another key element of the story clicks into place. Kathy, Tommy, Ruth, all of the students at Hailsham and all the members of the cottages are destined to donate their organs because they are clones. The confirmation of this suspicion can greatly influence the way we interpret Kathy's story. For instance, it now makes sense why none of the students mention parents or seem to know anything about traditional families outside of what they've read and seen on TV. Even with this new information, it's important to recognize that this is not a novel about cloning, but a novel about what it means to be human. However, that doesn't mean the world of the novel sees these students as human. Remember the incident with Madame in chapter 3 where she sees the students as spiders? Well, now we know why. A lot of other little mysteries click into place with the cloning reveal. One narrative element that remains unaddressed, though, is the fact that Kathy and the others can't have babies. When I first read Never Let Me Go, I thought it was because cloned animals can't reproduce, but a quick walk down the hallway to the school's biology instructor proved me wrong. Cloned animals can, in fact, procreate. So the fact that Kathy and the others are cloned doesn't fully explain this element of the story. Yet. But whatever the reason, our main characters don't have parents, or the hope of becoming ones. Cut off from any blood relations and family, the possible or model that they were cloned from carries understandable significance. Now, I've talked a lot about the significance of the models and possibles on the narrative, but not every character, at least outwardly, agrees that they're all that important. Kathy describes two camps concerning the opinion over possibles. The first believes that you'd get some insight into who you were deep down if you found one. The second camp claims our models were an irrelevance, a technical necessity for bringing us into the world, nothing more than that. Ruth has always claimed to be in the irrelevance camp, but now her possible is the one that's being cited, and she's understandably excited and nervous. Kathy, however, is fully skeptical, and the source of this citing causes Kathy's apprehension. Two veterans, Chrissy, a tall girl obsessed with questions about Hailsham, and her boyfriend Rodney, a decent guy whose main character traits are discussing the afterlife and agreeing with Chrissy, tell Ruth that they've spotted her possible in an office building in Norfolk, but Kathy suspects they may have made the whole story up. Kathy admits Chrissy and Rodney aren't bad people, but their detailed description of Ruth's possible matches too closely with Ruth's detailed description of her dream future for Kathy to dismiss this as a coincidence. Ruth's dream future, the sort of fantasy adulthood daydreams that Miss Lucy never let the students indulge in at Hailsham, is to work in a modern office building, and that's exactly what Chrissy and Rodney claim Ruth's possible is doing. But if Chrissy and Rodney are making this up, Kathy knows it's all because of one reason, and one reason alone. Ruth is from Hailsham. Now this is a short chapter, but there's a lot of significance in it. And I want to leave you with one quote as we go forward. Early in the chapter, Kathy's talking about the discussions of whether or not the possibles can be found and what it means to find one if you ever do. But she ends this talk with an interesting assessment of what it means to talk about a possible. She says, "We'd all sense we were near territory we didn't want to enter." And if that's what it's like talking about a possible, then what is it going to be like trying to find if one exists? We'll have to find out in the next chapter. Happy reading, everyone.